Hey friends, Lindbergh here, Health and Fitness Motivation Podcast. It is the end of the month, which means what? It means we're going to do our planning for the next month. That's right. It's October coming up. The month of the devil, if there ever was one. And that devil, he don't want you to hear me because I'm going to tell you how to stay on your health and fitness goals with our October planning. Okay, my clients, you all know what to do. Grab your 2-year book, grab that next monthly page and go through what you need to do to plan for the month of October. For the rest of us, we're going to give you a little snippet here to help you get going. First step is you're going to pull out the month of October calendar coming up. And you're going to look at it and make your exercise plans. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to look and say, what is it about this month of October that's different from any other month that has things in it that are going to get in the way of exercise? So do you have birthdays? Do you have holidays? Do you have anniversaries? Do you have other, midterms for school or finals? Or what do you have that normally gets in the way of exercise? And then make your plan around those days. Now, the most painfully obvious one, Halloween, right? This one is a double whammy. For some of us, Halloween becomes a great day because we get a ton of walking in because we're carting kids around trick-or-treating. For others of us, we're at home with a big old basket of candy, handing it out, and we're just sitting on our rear ends with a basket of candy in front of us. And for some of us, we don't even like to acknowledge the holiday, and so it's a non-issue. So you decide which bucket you fall into or where along that spectrum you fall into for our Halloween holiday coming up. And then you get to decide now, what do you want to do for Halloween this year? Maybe if you're usually a candy passer outer, maybe this year you dress up in some kind of a way where you're actually standing more. Or maybe, if some of you got a new Bosu ball, maybe you pull the Bosu ball out and you're balancing on the Bosu ball while you hand out candy. That could be really weird and maybe really cool because maybe all the kids would be like, what is that? Oh, it's a Bosu ball. And then maybe when they're, 20 years older, they'll say, oh, wow, maybe I want one of those. Anyhow, okay, I'm reaching a little too far, but you get it. You get the plan, right? Okay, that's step 1. Step 2, this one is even more critical. Our weather is changing. October and November especially is when the weather starts to sneak up on us and we start to make excuses for exercise because the weather isn't as good. And you, my friend, are not going to be that person. You're going to look ahead and say, you know what? My whole life, the weather has changed every October. And it always gets a little colder, a little wetter, a little rainier. And so you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to accept that reality and I'm going to get my winter coat out sooner or my rain jacket or my, little hand pocket heat warmers. I'm going to actually invest in a pair of running shoes or walking shoes that keep my feet warm. And I'm going to take my tennis shoes and dedicate them to the mud so I can go hiking on trails still and not worry about my shoes getting dirty, right? Because this is our life. This is our reality. Now, you don't have to do exactly what I just said. You guys know that, right? But what the challenge here is to look at what's changing with the weather and how that changes your health and fitness goals and how it impacts you positively or negatively, and get radically creative on how you can make October an awesome month of exercise, despite the fact that at least in the Northern Hemisphere, sorry, my friends in Australia, you're like, what are you talking about? It's finally getting warm. But most of our listeners are in the Northern Hemisphere, right? So we want to think about the weather and think about how we are not going to let that be a barrier. And we're going to think through those barriers to the weather, be it clothes or mental or physical, whatever it is. And we're going to do our darndest to break through as many of those barriers as we can so that we can keep going and not get derailed in October. So there you go, friends. Get your calendar, make your plans around any special things you have going on, events, and get ready for the cold weather to come up. There's your homework. It's going to take you a little while to do, but it is worth it. Alrighty, friends, if you want me to work with you one-on-one, head on over to couchtoactive.com. Sign up for some personal training. For me, personal training is what you make it. For some people, it's all exercise, and other people, it's all talk and goals and planning. So you get to decide what it is for you, and I'll help you figure out what that should look like. All right, friends, couch2active.com. Have a good October. Bye-bye now.